Hi, I'm making this video about a Whirlpool model WH46TS2E. I'll put that number up on the screen. This is a 4-foot high refrigerator. I got this condo in Florida, and I noticed there was a bunch of ice inside the fridge. Maybe people had turned it down previously to cool beer or something. Anyway, it was turned way down to the coldest setting, and there was a bunch of ice in there. Naturally, I turned it to normal temperature and started to melt, and then a couple days later I started to notice a horrible smell in the condo. And I've noticed maybe in the past bad smells and I couldn't figure out where they were coming from. Maybe this was the issue, because I tell you what, I went by the fridge and smelled a horrible odor coming from the back of it and pulled it out and figured out what was going on. Here's how to deal with the drip evaporation tray on this refrigerator. First, unplug it. Down here on the back, there is this tray that collects water that is accumulated in the refrigerator, and it sits on top of the compressor. The compressor gets warm, and then it evaporates the excess water in the tray. But if your fridge has too much water in it, like it defrosted a bunch of ice, it'll fill up with water. And if it's been collecting a bunch of gunk in there over time, it'll start to rot. And boy, it made a horrible odor in my condo. And I could not figure out how to get that thing off of there. And by looking at it, finally I figured out there's some clips that sit on top of the compressor, and you got to pry those apart. So as you look in there, it's very difficult to see, but there's a couple of white clips, 2 of them on each side, and they grab onto the top of the compressor. You got to stick your finger in there and pry those clips apart to each side. And as you do that, then you can pull that tray out, just directly out toward you, which I'm going to try to do right now. It's difficult to do this and film at the same time. Once you get your finger in there, you can pry those horizontal clips apart and just pull that tray out, and then dump that water. The water I had in mind was so smelly and so terrible. And then you just simply put that on top of the compressor and slide it back into place. It's pretty easy once you figure out how to move those clips to the side to pull that thing out of there. Okay, I learned that if you have a bunch of ice in your refrigerator, don't just turn the temperature to lower. You got to get the ice out, because it'll fill up that tray and cause a horrible stench in the house. The model number for that Whirlpool fridge is just on the back tag right there. Okay, I hope that helps somebody out. Bye-bye.